Welcome to TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn about script activity in Azure Data Factory. I'm very excited about this activity because remember that in SSIS we've been using execute SQL task, and there was tons of places where we wanted to use this, like execute a stored procedure, maybe run a select query, maybe run a delete query, and all that. And we had been looking for some different workarounds such as using lookup or some other activities to handle that. But now Azure Data Factory has finally released the call the script activity. Let's take a look and on the documentation here. So that's the documentation here. It says that by using script activity, you can do DMLs, you can do DDLs. So we can do select, update, delete, insert, whatever, and also we can create, alter, and drop different objects. So what it supports right now, it is Azure SQL database, Azure Synapse, and Azure SQL Server database as well. So you have to work with the self-hosted IR if you wanna connect to your on-premises SQL Server and perform some DDLs or DML statements. Then you can have Oracle and Snowflake. So this open a lot of good opportunity for developers who've been struggling through running store procedure or running they need to perform update or delete or insert, and there was no task available, or the ones that we had it, they were very terrible to go through that one with the workarounds. So now here are some more to it, and you can read, and if you are using temporary tables in your store procedure, you can use with the result set and just define the metadata for those columns there, so results set can be done as well. Now let's this video is gonna be, I will say, not too basic, not too advanced. This is gonna explore a lot of scenarios, and then but I will create a more specific scenario videos as well. Now from here, let's go further and take a look here. The output that is going to return us is going to return us result set dot row count, and that's total rows in result set. That's what it is going to give us. Also result set dot rows, that's array, that is going to return. So if you remember lookup, it will return us some JSON, and then you can loop through by using for each loop and items and all those kind of things. And there are some other information it's going to return us. We'll take a look on this. Read through this all the information here, and this is very helpful. And you can see how the logging is done, where the logs will put if you use print statement, what has to be done. Now here is the if you see this inline script, you see like plain text, script, file, and query and non-query, and this is not available. So I was when I went there, maybe this is for later. So right now don't worry too much about it, like, oh, there is no plain script is there, there's no script file there. And even it says that they provide the reference of a file from the blob storage, this snapshot is there. Maybe it will be deleted later, so maybe it's just a document bug that Microsoft has it. For logging, you can put the login information into the some file and all that, so that's possible there. But this feature is I was not able to find it as of now. I'm only able to find query and non-query. So let's take a look on the demo instead of just wasting time on the documentation, because the document is there, you can always explore and all. Let's here in the Azure Data Factory, we're going to go to the pipeline here, new pipeline, and I'm going to search for a script. Once I bring the script here, it's going to give me three tabs. It's going to give me journal tab, it's going to give me setting tab, and that's where we are going to make a lot of changes. Let's connect to our Azure SQL database. So as of now, if you remember, these are the databases it supports. So we have Azure SQL DB and managed instance and Synapse and Oracle SQL Server. These are probably on premises, and you have a Snowflake as well. Let's go with the Azure SQL DB for now, and I'm going to call this Azure SQL DB. So Tech Brothers. So I'm going to use integration runtime, that's auto resolve. So go to my subscription, select my server name, select my database name called TechbrothersIT, and then provide my username and authentication. For the password is going to be there. Okay, let's test our connection, and test is successful, and let's create our linked service. Now our linked service is created, and you can see that after that it is shown as query and non-query. Now you just hover your mouse right here and say database statements that return one or more result set. Okay, so let's do one something like this. Let's say select asterisk from dbo.customer. So I have this customer table. If I go right there, so you can see right there, this is my TechbrothersIT SQL, Azure SQL connection, and here is my database called TechbrothersIT. And this database contain DBO's customer table. So you have first name, last name, and all that, 4 or 5 records there. So this is the same query I'm going to use in here, and so you just paste it there. So you see right there database statements that return one or more results set. We are not making any other changes. Let's go ahead and debug. So it's going to return us all those records in the output. And remember that I was telling you can use the further like in lookup when you get that JSON, then you can select the data from there. So see right there, let's go to input. Here is the telling you which query you ran. It is the type is query, and then close it here. And now we go right there, and it tells you result set count 1 true. Okay, so there was only one result set, and here it is result records affected 0. And now you have result set. In result set you have total count 4, and then now you have rows. So you see right there there are 1 2 3 4 rows. Now let's go back here, and now we can go back and say maybe select same query instead of that f name. Okay, now we can try and see if it is able to execute multiple select statements. So it completed those, and now you can see that result set counted 2, and now you have result set 1 here, and here is your result set with the rows. This is your 1 2 3 4 rows, and then you have rows of 4 for second result sets, and you can see that this is returning only our first name. So you can return a multiple result sets from your queries. So in our case, we had 2 queries. The first query, this is the results returning from the first query, and the second query was returning these 4 rows. So you can see right there. Okay, so that's what we learned. And now if we need to select this data, let's say if I want to get the ID or first name or last name and all that, this is a JSON data. So result sets dot rows, and then you should be able to get this information. I will make a video on this one separate, because this is going to be lengthy topic, how to get a specific value, or how to loop through these values and put into some table and all those kind of things, and maybe save the value into variable or parameter, variable mostly, not parameter. So how to save these values in different variables. So I will make a separate video on this one. But let's go forward with the basic functionality now. What we learn here, we learn how to run multiple select queries here. So that's working just fine. And now we are going to go to the non-query. And here hover your mouse, and it is saying database statement that perform catalog operation, for example, querying the structure of a database, or create a database objects such as tables, or change the data in the database by executing update, insert, delete statements. Now let's go with that one. Now I'm going to, once you select, you can only select one of that. So we are going to remove this, and here I'm going to go back to my SSMS, and if you see there, here I'm inserting a couple of rows here, and then I'm going to go with the number 10 ID, and here I will go number 20 IDs. So I'm inserting 2 more records in customer table. I'm updating the first name from the script where the ID is equal to 1. Let's call it a demo name. Okay, so now wherever ID is 1, the first name should be changed, and also I'm deleting where the IDs are 2. Okay, so that should do it. I'm going to copy all these statements and take them, and then go to the right here in the script activity. If you make it a little large, you can see right there we have our insert statements, then we have our update statement, and then we have a delete statement. We are going to go ahead and execute now. Our script has been completed successful, and let's go on output, and here it is telling us the number of rows affected. So there could be 2 rows inserted, 2 rows updated, and 2 rows deleted. So there are total 6 rows got affected with our statements. Now let's go back here, go to customer. So right here, if you remember that, so we can go ahead and select the data from customer, and it should have more records here. So these are 2 records inserted here, and then we have updated our record right there for the demo, and we have deleted 2 rows. There were IUDs were 2, so there was total 6 rows affected by these statements. So this is really helpful. You can see right there we can do all those insert, update, and delete and everything. Now let's go a little bit more further and play with some parameters. And here let's go to query first. So in the query, if you see that I was doing a select asterisk from DBO customer, right? So now this is fine. So if I run it, it's going to get me all the records. But I don't want to get all the records. Maybe I have a parameter or a variable that I would like to use. Now here, maybe create a, let's create a parameter. I'm going to call the P region. Okay. So this is my parameter, and this is region is Asia. So actually, let me see if I have other tables here, or let's do customer here. So we will use customer, and in the customer, what we want to do right here, let's say I want to say where region equal to sorry, not region, source. So source equal to this value, script value. Okay. So if I put this one here, it should return me only 2 records. So it is returning me 2 records. Now the same query, I want to bring it to there and use some parameter there. So I'm going to go back here, and now instead of region, I want to have source. Okay, in the source, I want to put the value there. So let me take the value, and value was a script activity. So go right there, and that's the value I would like to pass. Now this value can change because it's a parameter. So or you maybe have a variable, that value can change as well. So now let's create another variable. I'm going to call this one a v source. So and here we will provide different value. We'll play with that. So I can show you both of the things. So it is a child one, so it should have only 1 record. I'm gonna put this value here as well, and now this is our script. Now think about that. I want to select everything from the my customer where my source column equal to first. If you remember that, I wanted to use this as source activity, script activity here. So if I put it there, what's going to happen? Now I can run, and it's only returning. This is not actually being used right now. That's fine. Just leave it as it is. So if I do it, now what happened is going to execute this script task, and the script task or script activity actually, and it's going to return 2 rows. So you can see right there 2 rows where activity is a script activity. Okay, that's fine. We did not use any parameter or anything like here. Now go back here, and see right there it says script parameter, and here you can see that in Oracle and Snowflake container only positional parameter is supported. Use question mark as the placeholder in the query for the parameter. The order of question mark need to be matched the order of the provided parameter below. So let's say if I want to use here and say question mark. Now with the question mark, and here I'm going to add a parameter. I'm going to call it script source. Okay, and then type is there are many types of it. You have varchar, you have string, you have boolean, time, and all that. So here I'm going to go with the string, and in the value I'm going to go right there and get the value called script activity. Okay, now just paste it right there, and it is the direction. So it is input output or input output. So here in our case it's on input. As I said that this is just a basic video. We are gonna play with this many times, so give me some time to learn by myself, and also you can learn yourself and play with different types of it. So right now I'm gonna just go with the input. Also there is a size required if direction is output or in output, and type is string or byte. So if you are outputting something, then you have to the max size has to be, there is some size requirement. Now we are fine here for now, and we will play with the output parameters later. Now we are providing input parameter, and the value is called value script activity, and the name of that is the script parameter. Okay, so this is index, and you can see that index is 1. Now if I'll go ahead and execute this is not being used as of now. We are not using parameter as of now, the pipeline parameter. Okay, so this fails, and why it fails? It says incorrect syntax near this. So what syntax I need to use? And that's what it says. So it says that for Oracle and Snowflake connector, only positional parameter is supported. Use as a placeholder in the query for the parameter. So here, okay, how about I don't use this and I use with the SSIS type of things or SSRS, and here I say the source at the rate this. Okay, so where I'm saying my source is equal to this parameter. So you see right there, that's the name I used instead of using question mark. Now in this, the value is equal to script activity. Now let's execute again. This parameter I will use it later to show you how you use the pipeline parameter to set the value of that script test parameter value. So let's go ahead, complete it successfully. So my old knowledge paid off here, and that's how I mapped it. So maybe you can do that as well, and you can see that value is coming correct. Now we are gonna go back here, and if we want to do this is fine. And later, remember we created the pipeline parameter, and I want to pass that pipeline parameter. So here instead of value, I can go to the add dynamic contents, and right here I can use either my parameter or variables from the pipeline. Now if I want to use just parameter, pipeline parameter, I'm going to go ahead and use it, and the value, you guys know that what it is. So it is a script activity, and that's the name of it. So now it is going to use this value, and it will pass right here. Okay, let's debug, and now this is the value it will be used. Now hit OK. Okay, that's completed, and let's go to the output and see two rows are returned and where our source was equal to the script activity. Now let's go back here and let's play with the variable. Instead of passing the value of a pipeline parameter, I can use variable as well. So I'm going to just delete it, and my variable v source, that's the variable, and the value is child. So now I can go ahead and run it. So this value will be passed to the parameter here, and this parameter is used here, and then that's how our query is built. So let's execute. Now this pipeline parameter is not being used anymore because I just removed from here. So I'm using variable. Okay, that's completed, and now it should return us only one row where our source is equal to child1. Remember that? That's the value we have right there. So it is only returning us 1. Now you learn tons of things here, and now let's go back here, and also as you see there, we can build our queries here. So instead of let's say if I'm not interested to use this parameter and all that, I just want to build my query, I can simply go ahead and build my query. So see right there, if I will copy this, and then I can go right there, maybe, and then I can use @concat, and concat string list. I can put something like this in first, here, and then I can add some values to it or something like that, and I can use simply that query here. So I can build the entire query with the variables and all that. And let's see, let's cancel this out, where equal to single quotes, and then we can use another one, comma, and use the variable here, and I don't have to actually use double quotes here. So single quotes right there, and then you have this. I believe nowadays they have this expression evaluation or all that, but I'm not seeing this. But anyways, here it's gonna build that query for you. But if you see that there are missing single quotes around it, so it might fail. Let's see, it's okay. So we can actually build our queries here, and let's debug. Now this parameter is not used because I'm not using anywhere. I'm using just a variable here. So I believe, let's see, this is, see, it is failing. It's gonna fail probably. Select start from this, where source is equal to child1. That's the variable. It should be single quotes around child1 here. Okay, so let's see if it fails. We try to go back and fix it. Failed, and it's saying that child1 invalid column. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go back here, go back to my query. Okay, so if you guys see there, I need to put single quotes here, and I was struggling through, and whenever I was trying to put like, hey, I need to put single quotes here, and I was doing, I If I was put this single quote, two of them, then it was shown fine, but it's not. It was not putting single quote, so I had to put four of them. But if you see right there, that was like showing me not the right color, so for expression, so that's a mess. Anyways, here I have to put four single quotes to get one single quote around the variable value here. So that's what it is. Now once I do okay and go ahead and debug, and this parameter is not being used because and that's good. It's completed, and we can go take a look on this. We then select star from db.customer where child source is equal to child, and you can see a single quote around it. So that worked, and then if I go to the output, and here I can see that it returned me one row where our source is equal to child. So you can do tons of things here. You don't have to use even script parameter. You can use script parameter. You can write the values from this, the value of that script parameter from the pipeline variable or pipeline parameter, and you can do tons of those things. And also you can build your entire script here as well by using just hard coding the values and using variables and parameters. Let's go to advanced here, and there is enable log, and you can click right there, and now you have a two type of login here. You want to see an activity output. That's the user defined message will be put in the activity output. The maximum size limit of this 4 MB. Any exceed messages will be truncated, in which case we recommend external storage. So if you just want to put an activity output, you can do that, or otherwise use external storage. And here is your login. You can just select your blob storage where you would like to put, and then select a folder and the file and all that. So you can write your script logging there. So all that information will go there. Okay, so this is great addition to the Azure Data Factory, and I will suggest start using it and learn and explore, and you see what other challenges you face with this script activity, and we can come up with different scenarios to solve those. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.